started. Alright, hello and welcome back to some more Minecraft Brothers Gold Age, episode 1091. See, I now remember the number, and it's definitely not because we just got to episode 1090 last episode. Definitely not, definitely not. Alright, but hopefully you are all doing alright and staying safe. You know, I started talking, and I started, swallowing more. And for some reason I can feel that little bit of pain from when I swallow due to being, still slightly sick. And, it's just on that horizon of coming back, and it's because I'm using my voice more, that's what it is. If I leave my voice and then it just heals, and then if I do not, my brain's farted. If I use my voice it just singies, and it's really annoying. It really is annoying. Alright. There we go. Actually, that can't be? Do I want to... Let me place down this crafting table. I pick up all of my crafting tables and I'll start placing them all back down. If I go like that, I can make that the central beam there for this building. So last episode we did actually get started on working on our docks, and we actually are almost done with the docks. And the turkey's back out the water again. We're almost done with the docks. I do need to do the stairs over here and also bring the spruce wood inwards a bit here. But no, I'm not going to do that because we actually need to go and get some more acacia wood so that I can finish off these buildings over here. And that is what we are going to focus on doing today. Take out that glass, there we go. Sort it all out. Why is it sorted like that? Why is the acacia wood so separated? I don't know why, but it really annoys me. It really does annoy me. But we actually do have like a few tasks that I do need to do. And I'll walk in here a second. Shove that in there. Shove that in there as well. And that. Alright. So I do apologise if my voice sounds a little bit rougher today. Alright. So, what we're going to be doing today is heading over to the mesa that is up north. And we're going to go and collect some of the blocks for the builds here. I think I'm actually going to have to collect the normal... that is we'd call it nether fortress, nether tower. I would call it nether tower, yeah. What we need to do is actually grab, let's see. Where is it? I'm actually going to have to try and figure out my way out of here. I forgot how bad this area is. There it is. Alright. We need to go and grab ourselves some of... I think it's going to be normal terracotta that I'm going to be needing for this build project. I think that is going to be the case. I might actually start with grabbing that there, just because it's out in the open and does not really make sense why it's just there, if I'm being honest. Alright, so let us go and grab this. It actually goes deeper than I thought. I should really gather up some dead bushes at one point. It's not every day that you get, to have dead bushes. So I should really grab them for doing like some kind of build. I don't know what kind of build I would do. Luckily I did not fall into that. Would do for a dead bush. But I could fit into something. The only problem with Mesa. Oh, that's a terrible name. How are you doing, my, what do you call it? I was about to call you a wyvern, but it's manticore. I tell you, my brain's just fried today, I tell you. My brain is just fried today. But, we are going to go and grab as much of this terracotta as possible, because we're going to be needing a lot of it, of course. I'll there. I'm trying to not mess up many of the hills around here, but we will probably mess up quite a few of them. Like this one right here. There we go. And just continue to mine across this line. Also, you know what I finally got around to doing? I finally got around to adding the tags for the, what do you call it, Twitch side. The thing is, I did my tags and then they reset the tags. I think it was some kind of like Twitch update or something in their system. And I lost all my tags and I was so annoyed that I had to try and like sync up my tags. And actually they still had one of my old tags in there, that being Stumple. If any of you do not know, Stumple is, you know, basically a better version of just Stump. It's a little bit easier to find people that way, you know, than if it's Stumple. Let's see. The only problem that I did find with that is that if you use Stump, there is like, you know, how would you describe it? Certain people use Stump for different stuff. That's what I'm gonna say. Like overseas people and all that. So it's very hard to get like, you know, the perfect name. And Stumple's not actually that bad. Stumple is... I cannot remember what Stumple means. It's... I think Stumple is... Dutch? I'm pretty sure. Possibly? I think it's possibly Dutch. Sorry, it's been a little while since I last looked up. But it's basically something to do with Dutch. Melon, I think it is. So when they're grinding down all the grain. It has to do with something with that. Actually, I had to look it up first because I thought, okay, I don't want to be named after something that, you know, might sound bad. So that's why I went with Stumple. There we go. We actually have quite a lot of it here. I'm actually thinking about grabbing some of this red here. It's actually looking quite nice, this red. I actually do need to gather up the red for a specific build project, if I'm being honest. Alright, that should be my backpack full of that. I can actually just shove it in the stone because terracotta is basically a stone. Would it be? I'm not sure. It would definitely come under stone. The thing is, clay and all that comes under probably dirt. So that's really like the problematic side of this. There we go. That should be enough red. And the reason why I'm gathering up a lot of this regular terracotta is actually for dyeing it. So we do actually have to go and find dyes. I don't actually know if I have any of the colours on me for the dyeing process actually. Let me sort out my inventory again. I do have some red, but I'm definitely going to have to go and either get some bone. Oh no, wait, I have plenty of bone. Ooh, sorry about burping there. Ooh, unexplored. I think I did this. I had to have done this, right? I'm pretty sure. No, it just looks too even compared to, you know, me using the hammer. There's a perfect, you know, waypoint right there. That's where we teleported in from. That's a very hard question. Is that mine or not? And I teleported a little bit too far over to the main. Alright, so let's just go and head on down over to here. And I don't think I actually have any red bushes here, so we may have to head just back to the house to grab some red dye from the red bushes in the animal farm area. I think that's just what we're gonna have to do. upwards, upwards, over. There we go. And there is what do you call it, thingy there. There we go. The only problem with what do you call it, teleporting, I would say, is that it kinda, what do you call it, how would you describe it? It's kinda a little bit annoying teleporting because everything reloads and then that causes lag and all that. But if I was traveling, it would cause a lot more lag. So that's why I normally teleport, is because between the two, teleporting is less, you know, lag. I'm out of hunger. There we go. So that's why I use more. Ooh, actually do have some thingy on me. Go like that. Turn that into red dye. Turn that into pink dye. And now we grab our terracotta from the backpack. I can't actually make it in my inventory. Why did I think I could make it in my inventory? Obviously I could not make it in my inventory. And it is pink terracotta. That's actually quite nice looking, actually. I feel like it will actually, you know, fit well. Yes, I will mix in a few different other types of terracotta as we go. But for now, it shall do for this building. Alright. Yeah, I think it will just be a nice, you know, fit for the place. Oh, you know what I forgot? How could I forget it? I forgot I needed the certain blocks. Acacia. How could I have forgotten? How could I have forgotten? Alright. Do I want to add a window here? I could add a window here, or I could do a dual window here. I do want it to kind of be smaller, so I guess it would just be small windows. I guess that would be the best idea, if I'm being honest. And then this would be the door to the building. There we go. And go like that. I heard like shuffling there, and I think it was just me, you know, walking there. Just me walking. I actually thought there was a creeper sneaking up on me for a second there. Would not be the first time in the last little while that, you know, creeper has done that. Like literally up there, we had to quickly turn around and punch a creeper so it would not blow up. And luckily I did that quite fast, actually. I'm very surprised at that still. Alright. So we actually do need to grab some acacia, and we could actually head down to our... basically the biomes that I use as milk farms for ore and other materials. As you can see, I've already mined out a lot of the sand and sandstone. Basically farming up some dunner here. And let me go to the backpack. Put the carrot in there. Put that in there. There we go. And I'll just okay, luckily they did not pick up anything. And now I can go and grab some good old materials, being acacia wood. Finally. Alright. So let us go and grab some acacia wood. Should not be that hard. Hopefully. I say that sometimes and it just becomes quite a pain. I need to go to the backpack and dump all of my terracotta back into that. will replant. I do need these in the future, so that's why I do replant them a lot of the time. I think I've actually mined some of these before, these trees. Yeah, these are trees I've replanted. I'm pretty sure I've replanted these ones. There we go. We actually need quite a lot of acacia wood, so we're probably going to be mining these trees for a little bit. But what can we talk about while I'm working on this? What is one of your favourite desserts? For myself, you know what, that's a hard choice, I tell you. It can be any dessert. You know what, that's a hard choice. I don't think I actually have like a proper answer for that one. You know what, that's a good question I should ask instead. If you have watched like a movie or something, what's your favourite food from a movie or like, you know, anime or anything along those lines? Because there's always though that nice looking food. I'd probably say, you know, I'm going back, you know, I'm showing my age here, but when they were doing like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, I remember the anime had a ice cream when they got to the Snow Gym area. Snowden? Snow Run? Snowden? I cannot remember the name's place. The name of the place. The name's place. But I cannot remember the name of the place, but that place, I remember they had a basically delicacy, and it was spicy ice cream. It was ice cream that you would bite into. It was spicy and warm on the inside, but the ice cream on the outside would immediately stop it burning you, but you would have the nice taste of the spice. And it looked so nice, I tell you. It really did. I did want to try it after seeing it, you know. I don't think I would be that very good at it though. I feel like I'd probably just be burning my mouth off. But I tell you, it always looks nice. Or that, you know, one scene that everyone talks about in Howl's Moving Castle. The Ghibli movie. Oh. There we go. But that one scene in that movie when they're cooking up, you know, the, what do you call it, beef and all that, it's so nice, I tell you. There's just a lot of movies and, you know, anime out there that does, you know, food so nice, but then when you have it in real life, you know, you kind of feel like it's lacking. That's what I will say. You kind of feel like it's lacking in real life. Like, you know, I've seen a lot of food in my time, and I always feel like bad when I'm looking at, like, you know, this, you know, worthless burger, you know, that they're selling as a burger, and it's like half of basically what you even get. If I'm being honest, you barely get anything. Chuck the sand out. Why is there coarse dirt in there? There we go. Alright, I need to eat. You know, the entire... Did we spend the entire night out here? Oh, look, there's a rare white lion. There's only one of those in my world so far. And I managed to have one in a biome that I did not think I would have. Sadly, I could not tame it before it grew up, sadly. That was kind of the disappointing part. You know, I see all these rare white albino animals and I cannot tame them due to, you know, it's just not being possible. They're just too old at that point, you know, when I find them. And that's a baby zombie. Why are you not burning? You're probably wearing armor, but I can... That's probably what you were doing. But I guess I could just get some extra food there. You know, we're just doing a little adventure. Oh, I placed this a while ago. It's brown terracotta. An old cave there. I'm actually thinking about coming to one of these places one day and just mining the whole building down. Because it's made out of well, not terracotta. It's made out of sandstone, and sandstone is a very useful block for building with, because I actually use it for a town full of desert. So I actually really need to, you know, come back here and mine down this place. There's basically like the bare mineral in here now. So I do plan on actually coming back here and just mining out the whole place. Let me know if I should do that soon and then go work on some Mass Halden. Mass Halden is what we call the Desert City if you're new to the series. But, that is a nice mountain. Alright, so let us go and we'll head on back over to Voxtown. I do have one goal that I want to do soon, and it's to go around my world working on the rivers, but also I want to travel around my world and build locations around my world. Kinda similar to, like, you know, the Abbey. Just random, like, structures out in the world. Like, if it fits in a certain environment, you know, like on a cliff face, you know, area that just looks so nice that I just have to build on, then I feel like, you know, I should do, like, a build like that. That's something I do want to do, because there's been, like, some nice areas, like, down here I built this house on this area here, and it's a really nice area. I do want to do the wildlands again. That is when we put all of our stuff in a chest and go out into the wilderness and restart from scratch and try and work our way up to... I did say trying to beat the Ender Dragon, but that would be, like, way too hard. Probably just getting a full diamond set of armor as the goal at the end, because that's basically what it was back in older Minecraft. That was, like, you know, end game was getting that armor. But this is where we last did our first wildlands, and I have a fear because I had a dream, I tell you. And I had this dream and I was in a spruce biome, kinda like this, and it was going alright until a bunch of creepers started blowing up my house, and it kinda just, eventually I died. And I was so sad, I tell you. So I have a fear if I do start a wildlands, I'm never going to start a wildlands in a spruce biome. Why? Well, you already know why. I do not want to die to the, you know, creepers again. Alright, so I'll do all of my power to prevent that from happening. Alright, I am actually almost out of... I need to find the right backpack for that. I actually need to go to this backpack. There's another backpack in here that I'm actually going to chuck out all of this stuff, make sure there's no goats in the area. I've had that problem happen before. I've jumped, you know, well, not jumped, dumped a bunch of stuff on the ground. How do people do it? How do people do it? How do they just, you know, get out of the inventory fast? Fine, I'll just chuck all my stuff out. Get out of here. There we go. We probably have enough to plant a new wheat field as well. Especially with some of the newer crops as well. That being... You know what, I do really want to do some sushi soon. That's something that I do want to, you know, really cook up soon. Not in real life, but in the game. I do plan on doing some sushi because it's been a long time since I last did a sushi episode. I plan on doing cooking episodes within the series, you know. We have so many, like, spin-off, like, you know, stuff in the series now. That we have, like, the wildlands where we venture off into the wilderness. We have the, what do you call it, that idea that I talked to you about there a second ago. Sorry, my, you know, speaking's not the best today. Brain just not, you know, built for it, I tell you. That's what I will say. Brain just not built for it. and sort all that out. Okay, that's perfect. It was taking a second to sort all that, you know, out there. Alright. So I should just be able to shove that back in the backpack now. And put that backpack back in there. And go to the stone backpack. Well, a wood backpack. I can put the spruce in there and I'll keep the jungle wood on me. And I'll put away the string. That's what I meant to do. And I'll go put away the stone bricks. There we go. Alright. So let us get started with this over here now. It's actually not looking too bad, I would say. I do kind of feel like this house here is kind of lacking. Maybe I should put a, you know, door to this on the back side. And then put this like this. I feel like I could just fit in another layer. Yeah. Let me just shove that on top. Grab the rest of the pink terracotta. Oops, that does not need to go there actually. And break that. There we go. Alright, now I need to go and, you know what, I'll just place the crafting table. Shame, I tell you here. Alright, let me get rid of that bot, I tell you. I look away for 1 second for the chat, and a bot always appears, I tell you. It's like they know. It's like they know. Like, I don't care. Leave me alone. I do not want to buy what you're trying to sell. There's basically nothing now. Because you're nerfed that bad. You know, lurkers and you... I was about to say YouTube, Twitch. Alright. Yeah, that's not too bad, I would say. There we go. Alright. Alright, how's this roof supposed to be formed? I do feel like it's probably going to be a thing like this. I could make it go higher. If I do it higher, it would probably be better, if I'm being honest. Let me go break that. And the reason why I'm saying it's probably going to be better if I did that, it just looks a lot nicer this way. And also I can do larger windows. And that is what I'm going to do. I think it was a dolphin there. I don't know why a dolphin sounds so loud, to be honest, around here. And I misplaced that block there. Do I need to place that block there? I guess I do. I guess I do now. There we go. And just go like that. And that means I can just extend all the windows in here by 1 block. I think this will probably be where we store... I think maybe we might store flowers in here. So that I have all the individual big flowers and small flowers in the area. And then I can just pick, you know, like, this one doesn't look too bad. Maybe I could use this for a build, you know, like in this, you know, detail or that detail. Basically like an observation room of all the different colours. That's what it'd be like. Alright. Yeah, that does not seem too bad so far. Alright, let us go and place all of that down now. Break that. Oop. Accidentally broke that there. The wrong thing to break. Alright. Let me just go like... I ran out of hunger. I reminded myself to fill up your hunger. Fill up your hunger. And then I never went and filled up my hunger. There we go. Not too bad there. Not too bad. Alright. Go like that. I think I'll probably slab out this entire first half that you're seeing right here. Just because I feel like it'd be a little bit nicer. Let me grab the axe. Tell you, it's always trying to get the nice lining up with these, or they're gonna go upside down. It really annoys me, and I cannot even stand in that little bit yet because we're not in that update yet. Ah, pain, pain, pain. Whenever I hear pain, all I think about is that one I would call it boss from Metal Gear Solid. The pain. I don't know why. I've actually never played through the Metal Gear Solid 3 completely. Ow. And that's... Don't laugh at me. Yeah, this is actually not looking too bad. I will go like this. And that is not the right wood. Let me go and place that down. I do not need another crafting table. There is some stuff that I dislike with what do you call it? Our thingy mod. Inventory sorter mod. I know I could easily just disable it with that little button up there. But I am going to complain about it. Like, it really is just, you know, it's good, but also annoying at the same time. I'll do that there. And I think this should be stairs. But I could abandon that idea. And change it up completely. But then have this as the middle section. And just place those there. Bam! That is actually looking pretty normal. It kind of looks very basic. Alright. Let me go like that. Alrighty. And then I just do that. And that is that complete. I can just place all of these here. I need to grab some more of these now. I was not expecting to go through this many slabs already. Yeah, not too bad. Now I could just make this super thin on top. The reason why I'm not filling in it like completely the roof is that I feel like I could do something nice with this roof. Are you not right? I feel like I've done something wrong here. Okay, so that's stairs there. Ah. So you have the first stairs, you have a slab, and then you have a stair. And then this is a stair. Yeah, that is right. Okay, I was very confused there for a second. I was wondering why it was not lining up. Turns out it was a stair that I was missing the entire time. There we go. And grab all of that. Alrighty, righty. And that is right? No. What just went wrong here? No, that's stairs there. Ah, I see. It is the middle block of the house. is perfect, but it's a one blocker. It's supposed to be one block. Now it's looking more normal. There we go. Now that looks a lot more, you know, the way that it is supposed to be. I could actually make this a little bit different by just changing that one detail. It makes it look a lot more arched than just, you know, lazily put together. Yeah, I think that actually looks quite nice, if I'm being honest. Now we should get started on the next house. I do actually really like pink terracotta. It's a really nice block to work with. The only problem that I would say I have with pink terracotta is that at night time it's good, but it's hard to describe. It really is hard to describe. It's nice, but I'm finding it hard to get the words out there. I find it nice, it's bright, but okay, so 2 windows here. And then that there. It's nice and bright, but I don't think it's nice at dark. Because I feel like it's a little bit too bright at dark times. Like if we're looking at this, you know, I think it's actually going to look nice. It may actually work with the dark. I was very iffy there to see if it would actually work with the dark, but I do think it will actually work. And then this would be the front door. Yeah. I think I could do something with this middle bit up here. I'm trying to think of what would be a good middle ground. I could use something unconventional, or it's a really hard choice. What am I going to do about that? I'm finding it very difficult to try and figure out like what I'm going to do with that. I'm almost out of terracotta, but I can make some more. I need a crafting table to make more. Keep forgetting that one detail. There we go. And shove that in the backpack. Alright. There we go. We'll make this window over here. Break that. Yeah, I'm thinking something yellow might be a good contrast. But if I'm being honest, it's a very hard, you know, decision. Do I go with the yellow? Or yeah, that is a very bad decision to try and make my mind up on. Yeah, I really just do not understand what I could do for it. I think yellow would be the best, you know, cover for it, if I'm just being honest, because yellow really contrasts well with pink. This kind of pink. This creamy kind of cherry pink. I've really got to have to put that in the backpack, I tell you. Let's see. Use this, you know, one that I had. Just do that. Make a bunch of those. And make a bunch of slabs. I really gotta have to get that mod that adds in, what do you call it, stone cutter. If any of you know the mod that adds in the stone cutter, I keep thinking like I could save so much, you know, material if I had a stone cutter in the older update. I'm just being honest, you know, it would save so much time. Because I was about to rain there. Let's see. What, I forgot my glasses, that's what I forgot. Alright, let me put on my glasses. I forgot I did not put them on. Alright. So, you know what, I might actually just leave it barren in those little slices now. Just because I know that, you know, I could fill them in the now, but I don't want to fill them in the now. I'll get the roof done first, and then I'll fill them in. There we go. There we go. And there's a block, slab, and stairs. Yeah, there should really be a slab under those stairs, if I'm being honest. I know it's originally not what I had planned before, but I do feel like it does fit a lot better than just leaving it hanging there. There we go. I might actually add some detail to the roofing to kind of make it look more unique for each house. So that being, you know, I'll probably add maybe in something, I might add in some zigzags or little spikes going up and down. I do feel like I could do nice with those. I could also do like, you know, certain historical styled roofing. Those do work. Like the good old Victorian style square roof with all the ornaments on top, like gargoyles. Can't remember what you call it, but if you want an example where you can find it, it is, you know, something that you can easily find in the game Elden Ring, and certain places they have square roofs. No, no, no. I was just trying to, you know, go under here to place that slab down, and then I almost fall off. You know what? Why don't I just use a crafting table up here? This is a problem, I tell you. I keep placing crafting tables because I don't want to travel the distance to grab this one. Alright. And just grab a bunch of stairs. Grab me a few slabs. There we go. That's a pretty even amount, I would say. And that's a block. I guess I could just slab it there to the end. I never did do a slab at the end instead. This will just make it look, you know, more curved, I would say. There we go. And I need to find where those stairs are. Place all of these as we go. guess I could have just placed it like that. There we go. And let us go and go here. Just place all of these. There we go. And also place a bunch of these here. And not too bad. There we go. Alright. So let us go and place the rest of these down. Like that. That's not looking too bad so far. There we go. And now all I need to do is get another slabbing done. There we go. And just go like this. Yeah, that is slabbed, yeah. Yeah. I was just double checking that was slabbed there. And bam, the roof is complete. I will probably have to light up. Oh wait, the roof's not fully complete yet. Oopsie daisy, oopsie daisy. That is a slab right there. I need to add a slab there. Do I have any additional slabs? Yes, I do. Poop! I forgot. I was gonna break it down a little bit so I was able to get to the block. But now I have to go all the way back up like this and place the slab there. Yeah, that should do. This has gotten the care that no, I forgot the slab there. Have I forgotten the slab here? Let me check. I looked at it there for a second and I thought, oh, I'd forgotten the slab, but I guess I had not forgotten the slab. Yeah, we're fine. I thought I'd forgotten the slab, but no, it was just my imagination. Just with that perspective, it kind of looked, you know, a little bit, you know, suspicious. Dolphin there. Don't like dolphins. Dolphins be mean. Oop, there we go. So let me go like that. I'll put that in there. And I'll probably get some more of that actually. And grab some more of that there. And grab some more of that there. And now we can go up there and finish the final details. There's that bit there. I'll just go up this way. A little bit easier. A little bit easier. Stairs. And let us go and place all these down. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. And oh, I've forgotten the slab there. The original thing that I set out to do, and I almost forgot it. Cracks me up that. Alright, so let me go check and see how this is looking. That is actually not looking too bad at all, if I'm being honest. It kind of looks a little bit clunky, but that is to be expected with this. Yeah, that is to be expected. I do see that these, you know, are quite nice, you know, buildings. I might actually add some more detail into them. So let me know what I should do to add just a little bit more detail into it. Alright. So let me just get up here. And so, what time are we at? Ooh, we're at 50 minutes. It took me that long to do all this. Alright, well, that is where I'm going to end off for today, because we have been hard at work on these two buildings here today. And I do plan on actually building a lot more of these buildings. Actually, see this little bit down here, where we have this bridge that I have to demolish. Where I have to demolish this bridge. This is where I plan on building a few more houses just along this little shore bit here. And hopefully they do fit. I do plan on building another building over here behind this building right here. To kind of just, you know, fill up the area. That's kind of what I'm going with here. I'm kind of just trying to fill up the area as much as possible. So we have this here. We have that here. I plan on building a house over here, and then maybe I could definitely fit here. It's going to be a tight squeeze. I might have to shift over by a little bit, but I do feel like I could build a house here, or I can just move it just a smidgen over here and build it over here. This one's actually going to be smaller than that house by a few blocks. I do actually like that idea. But I want to do something unique for this one's roof for the next one. And I do plan on doing another few builds over here next to where we're building, well, demolishing this bridge. So I think next episode I'll demolish this bridge, get it out of the way, so that we can start to bring the houses across and also bring that pathing up here by a slight little bit. And then that should allow me to eventually branch out and probably upgrade the place that I call Alvelio. I built this in 2022. It's not really changed that much. And we do have Miss Poppies over here, a bunny that's in here. Say hello to Miss Poppies. There we go. But I do really like the idea of having, you know, it eventually be brought into the city. Like, they're two different cities, but they're kind of just mashed into each other due to expansion. It happens, you know. How many cities have you known that have kind of just expanded into another city? There is a lot. There is a lot. Especially if you're living in a capital city or a big industrial city, like there is many in the, you know, UK that have kind of just expanded to encompass another town. That being like, you know, Edinburgh has, you know, sucked up a few, Kirkcaldy has sucked up a few, that being that old place that was just down from Kirkcaldy, a town. It was just a beach down. It's where they have a playground around there somewhere. I remember from like many years ago, I tell you. And then what other places? London's definitely sucked up too, and many of the surrounding counties of, you know, that area in Middle England and Eastern England have really sucked up quite a lot of, you know, different towns and all that. But I will not go into detail with that because, you know, that's a whole other story, and I've not researched that in a little while. So I do know the little bits because it's still fragmented. I still have little bits in my head for it. Vox Pop Coffee Shop, open 9 to 11. I really need to get the people, like, you know, all dressed up. I actually do have them dressed up, I forgot about that. It's just, you can't really see their armor, and plus the armor breaks on these stands. I really do like how this has turned out. I do feel like in the long run this has actually turned out to be probably the nicest building this town has actually seen in a while. Now I'm not counting the Abbey up there because that's its own build, its own little region. Or the little wedding area over there that I do quite enjoy. But let me know what I should do for this wedding area down here. Abbey. Oh, sent a shiver down my spine there. Let me know what I should do for this wedding area. I built it so long ago that I do want to add more to it. So hopefully I can add more to it very soon. I don't know what I could add to it. I want to make it look more, you know, wedding-like. So maybe I should do like banners, like white banners facing forward and backward. That would make it a lot nicer, if I'm being honest. Problem is, I need to work on my sheep population in the white wool department, as we're quite short on that now. It's actually why I wanted to grab some red terracotta as well. I did think about making it into these buildings, but I did also think about our barn area over this way. You know, I'm kind of extending this episode, I do apologise. But I do plan on this area over here. It's taken a little while than I expected. Don't get locked onto me, don't get locked onto me. Sorry, ogres like to lock onto you and just destroy so much land. And it's really annoying. Especially this land here, because this is full of holes and all this. Because it's more closer to the mountain. I do want to work on the lab. I do actually have a whole plan for the lab that I do want to eventually get to finally doing. That is basically the new creeper forest over there, because there's so many creepers that spawned in that forest. Hello there sheep, how's it going? But I do want to, work on our population of sheep over here. I've not been in the area, so they've not regrown all their wool just yet. But I do plan on actually getting a lot of their wool. I don't actually have my shelter for gathering up the wool. But I do want to build up a sizable population of every type of sheep. This will kind of be a kind of replacement for our one that is up in the animal farm, the rainbow sheep farm. That kind of just has one or two. This one will have at least like 10 of each sheep. So hopefully that will work out in the long run for them and make it a little bit easier on me for getting wool. But we are moving the rainbow sheep farm over into this area over here, this one. This is a new rainbow sheep farm that I'm going to be building. I might actually bring some of it underground. That's still to be decided, I tell you, that's still to be decided. I could actually make a little bit out the back that goes down underground. So it goes like staircases going sideways down here. You're now underground and it has more room underground. That is a possibility, though we are quite close to the southeastern lush caves. That is still disconnected from our main lush caves that is under our house, and I do need to work on those soon. But we do actually have a lot planned, and it's basically just trying to get Vox down readied up for construction to be, you know, accelerated. Let's see. So we do have a lot of builds that are supposed to be built along this area. I will probably focus on building that little, upwards area, the little steps. So I will probably work on that very soon to just get that out of the way. I think it would be there. Yeah, that's where the stairs are gotta be. And then I need to fix the other steps that I wanted to do. I guess I could implement it into kind of like, you know, the same area. I could curve it inwards a little bit. So it's kind of like an upwards bit. Kind of like our barn area down here that I built. That I'm still actually working on. I do actually need some ideas. So if you have any ideas for not so modern industrial style builds, let me know down below. If you want to send in some references, there is the public Discord server that should be linked. If not, you know, it's pretty easy to get the link from my link tree. But I do plan on doing a lot of builds down here very soon. But we just have that many builds that just take up that much time. Like this build has taken up almost an hour today, just doing these two buildings and getting all the materials for it. So imagine what that's going to be for all of the builds that I do have planned for over here. That's at least more like 6 hours maybe we have for this one area. So a lot of builds that might be built fast, might be built slow. It really just depends on what we have at the time and what we have planned for it. And then we do have the barren area, I do have plans to build some grain silos. I might actually fill up with actual wheat bales, hay bales. So I might actually place down all of my wheat bales into these, things to kind of act like, actual grain towers. I feel like that would be a fun little detail, if I'm being honest. You know what? You never realize how much, your world has really grown until you start talking about, like, returning to, like, an old build project. Like, there's many build projects that are still in the works, and many build projects that have been needing a rework, like the Bridgemaster Temple. I'm actually planning on building a similar thing to the Bridgemaster Temple, as I plan on building a temple to one of my, real life dogs that have passed, sadly. They survived one of the worst cancers a dog can get, but sadly, dislocated their back and all that, and the nerves were just, absolutely shot. That's the best that I could describe it for you. So I do plan on building a build dedicated to my dog. Just because, I feel like, I've done that for many of my other creatures in this world, like Bridgemaster. But, you know what, they were cold. This one was a real life, thing. So I want to dedicate a build to it. And I'm actually thinking about taking over the 250 block wide project and turning that into the, structure. It was a build project that I created just before New Year, a few years ago actually now. It doesn't feel like a few years ago now. Whew. Make me feel old here, aren't you? But I just like looking at my world, looking at all what we've created over the years, what we're going to create, stuff that we need to refix. I wish I could delete some of the map chunks, I think one day we might save up for a few upgrades for the PC, like memory wise, and I'd carve out like a big slice that's nice and like smooth. That's what I want to do. I want a nice smooth open map that I can just see the biomes that I want to see, instead of having to worry about my map being a bit too big. That being about 2.5 gigabytes is last time that I remember checking the number. So around that is how much my world takes to download and save. But the problem is I cannot upload it to Planet Minecraft due to Planet Minecraft now having, you can only upload, this much of the world, so it'd be like, this super tiny bit of land. Like, I guess it would work for my main base, well, slightly. I could probably do most of everything in this area, but if that's not under 500 megabytes, then they're not going to take it. I think it's like 150 megabytes or 200 megabytes. So really, Planet Minecraft sucks. So if any of you know any better places to upload world saves, so that yous, the people watching this, can download this series and check out some of the builds that you probably enjoy. Or, you know what, you could go and destroy something. Alright, I've talked your ear off too much now. This feels like, I'm like 1,000 episodes younger now. That's what it feels like. But that is where we're going to end off for today. So, hopefully you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, stay safe, stay possible. This was very important. Bye bye.